It's me, the big bad king of the Koopas, King Bowser. Or at least that's when I was bad. Nowadays I defend my kingdom, raise my son and Koopa Lanes the right way, and ensure everything is up to code in the castle. I'm doing an ass series for you guys in my man cave. I'll do a mini podcast now and then during or after questions. Alrighty then, it's showtime! Okay, so here's the first question. Who are you, and what have you done to Bowser? I can see why this seems strange to you all. Well, to answer your question, I'm not the same Nintendo Bowser canon. The Bowser you're referring to is from the main universe, where he's the antagonist, terrorizes Mario Brothers, and has a sick and twisted obsession with Princess Peach that constantly kidnaps her. And everyone's scared of me, this and that, and blah 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 blah. I don't do that anymore. I'm retired for the ability business, although I just want to rip Mario's head off just for the way he stares at me and gets in between my woman. I want Peach so hard I can... Okay, Bowser, breathe. The song's getting low. The song is staying really low. Ooh, sorry about that. My episodes tend to trigger when I think of Mario and Peach. But it's fine, I kicked that bad habit. I turned out a new leaf, and I'm allied with Peach instead of wanting her to be my lover. Let's just continue with the next question. Question number 2 says, when you say you're not Nintendo Bowser, what do you mean by that? What I mean is an alternate timeline where things changed. You see, after Bowser's inside story that beatdown from Mario and Luigi put me in a coma for 2 months, I thought I was dead. I looked and saw my paradise filled with men. And women. Nothing but infinite food, beverages, hot baths, massages. And then I woke up and saw the thank you cake with my face, Mario, Luigi, and Peach on it. And everyone was there with me, even Peach. They even said I was on life support. The sadness and fear in Junior's face was devastating. I went to a shrink, looked through the root of my problem, and learned to take in the positive instead of the negative. Being in a harsh environment of the dark lands can mess anybody up, you know? And not like I blame Kamek for his bad parenting, it's just that he hasn't led me on the right path of being a better king, and that's fine. Gotta put in the work myself, you know. Anyways, on to the next question. So who's the villain if it's not you anymore? That would be King Wart, yeah. He somehow escaped the dream world and made it into the real world. And after remembering what Mario did to him, you best believe he's out there for revenge. However, I care less about Princess Peach and the kingdom if he were to have his new kingdom as king. If Peach ever calls for my help, then it roughly depends. I got my kingdom to defend, you know. Man's gotta have his priorities. I know it's as complex as it sounds, but trust me, it's for the best that I said my desire for power and rivalry with Mario is over. All I do is lure tactics to take Mario down, which work every time, and it's considered a damsel in distress to other people. Oh, and I'm more respected when I'm allied with Peach's council. You knew. What food makes him the most gassy? Guess we're moving into loot territory here. Anything beef related and spicy can set off my butt pipes, if you know what I mean. Drumsticks, chicken nuggets, spicy ramen, you name it, I blast them all. Hell, sometimes flames come out of my tail hole as well. And you know what's funny? It never hurts. All part of being immune to fire. Badass, right? Although Kamek told me to start eating healthier or do both meats and vegetables. And surely enough, veggie farts smell a whole lot worse than meat farts. Like it's so bad. Not even Junior wanted to be around me. So awesome. Another question said, how bad are my farts? Well, I just answered your question. 2 for the price of 1. Who is Bowser Jr.'s mother? And what is your favorite cake? To put it simply, Junior doesn't have a mother. As all of you know, Nintendo tends to avoid giving Mario characters deep backstories, likely to keep the series accessible and lighthearted. The mystery of Bowser Jr.'s mother is likely intentional, as it keeps the focus on the fun gameplay rather than the lore, so there you go. As for my cake, however, I have various cakes, so I'll leave you guys to guess what those are. But I would have to say feats, rest, and BDSM. How do you manage being a king and a dad to Bowser Jr. at the same time? Alright, so, let me tell you something about that. Being a parent is a chore. Being a king is easy for me since I've done it for years. But if I learn anything, it's best to balance both things at a time. At first, it was hard during Super Mario Sunshine, but later on, it got easier nowadays. If Nintendo ever made a rated M Bowser game, which they won't, but if they did, what would be the first thing you'd do? Kill Mario, then Peach, and rule everything with an iron fist. Also, Luigi and Daisy, Wario and Luigi get a pass, because they could probably help me get the rent out of anyone who lives in my kingdom. They would strong-arm anyone, if you will. Capitalism for the win. What's the secret to keeping your shell so shiny and spiky? I simply take off my shell and wash it and scrub it and dry it up fast until they're nice and sparkly. And as for the spikes, I have a blacksmith that sharpens my shell spikes to make them nice and pointy. So pointy that it poked a hole in my finger and blood came out. So when the next time anyone tries to attack, I simply turn around and they fall right into my spikes. Karma will be a huge bitch for sure. How did you come up with your first evil plan? Was it a success or a disaster? Hasn't all my plans been a disaster since day one? They were never a success. Not even making my galaxy. Well, that was an interesting episode. Starting things off slowly, as they say. You gotta start from the bottom and work your way to the top. At least that's what I always tell Junior anyway. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and remember to stay awesome. Bowser out.